Good morning, and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and we're so glad to have you with us today. We welcome all of those who are listening on WNDZ 750 AM here in Chicago, and all who are viewing on our live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago. As many of you know, Catholic Charities has a long history of assisting veterans in need. Our services have expanded over the past 10 years so that now we assist more than 20,000 veterans each year as they strive to become more self-sufficient. Our programs and services cover a wide array of veteran needs, and one of these services is our Veterans Job Placement Program throughout Cook and Lake counties. And with me to discuss this crucial component of our veteran services are Mitch Siegel and Bernie Gresham, who are our veteran job developers in Lake and Cook counties, respectively. Welcome, Mitch and Bernie.
Good morning, Katie.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Can you give us an overview of our services to veterans who are looking to start a new career? Mitch, may we start with you?
Sure. Well, the goal is to help veterans find and maintain employment, job readiness training, resume writing, interview skills, and job placement. A big part of my job is meeting veterans and, that need our services, and then also meeting employers that will be able to provide the jobs. So, and then working within the framework of our community partners within Lake County. I work within what's known as the catchment area of Lovell Federal Healthcare Center in North Chicago. And that includes Lake, McHenry, and southeastern Wisconsin. So there are a lot of veterans in that area. And, there's in the neighborhood of about 36,000 in that area. And, at any given time, there's 400 or 500 veterans looking for work.
And Bernie, how is the employment program structured in Cook County? Are there differences there? I'm assuming there are differences between your region and Lake County.
Well, without a doubt, Katie, the program goals in Cook County and Lake County are the same, but the demographics are just a little bit different in that the primary differences that affect employment would be skill level, employment proximity, and access to technology. I will say initially, when looking at some of the numbers, between 2015 and 2019, those in Lake County with a high school diploma, it was like 87%. And those with a bachelor's degree or above was 38%. And in Cook County during the same period, the percentage of those with a high school diploma was 23%. And those with a bachelor's degree or above was 23% as well. Now, the one thing is I couldn't find statistics specifically to veterans, but it wouldn't be or to African Americans, but it wouldn't be a stretch to say that the lower education matriculation levels basically guarantee that the population in Cook County will probably be going for lower skilled level jobs. Now, the problem is we have a lot of employers in Cook County who are interested in employing those people in blue collar positions. But the problem is that the veterans can't get to the job. So that's kind of one of the big differences. And I won't say big difference because Mitch actually has the bicycle program in Lake County because Lake County is so expanded. But as far as our constituents, they have to do public transportation. And so trying to get from the south side of Chicago, I'm sure you know, Katie, to Des Plaines or something like that on public trans would be a major barrier. So yeah, there are definitely some demographic differences between Lake and Cook, and we're trying to address those as best we can, and we're doing pretty good.
I think you're doing very well. Can I ask you both how the pandemic affected your work in terms of the number of jobs available? And as you said, these challenges of transportation. Bernie, how about you first? How did the pandemic affect what you did, and how did you get around those challenges?
Well, obviously, Katie, that was a brand new barrier. And both Mitch and I realized this. And independently, it's actually funny, independently, but with the same mindset, we realized that our clients needed access to technology in order to take advantage of some of the new opportunities with work from home and telecommuting and that. And so, and I think he started it on your show or rolled it out on your show, Computers Technology Donation Program. And I actually came up with the same sort of idea, but in my case, I was able to write for a grant from the Hospital Sisters of St. Francis, and we were able to get some funding for a computer program for Cook County, where we were able to give computers to veterans so that they could participate in the work from home. And we've actually had some success with that as well.
And I know you went one step further, Bernie, and encouraged adult education courses in computers. And I think our live stream includes a few photos of your clients who've received certificates in those courses. So it's really wonderful how you've been able to work around the challenges of the pandemic, but by getting at the heart of it, which is computer education. It's really terrific, Bernie. We're going to take a quick break here on the Voice of Charity, and when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion about veterans employment programs in Cook and Lake County. Please stay tuned. Do you have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219. Welcome back to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and I have the great pleasure today of being with Mitch Siegel and Bernie Gresham, who are Catholic Charities job developers in our Veterans Employment Program in Lake and Cook counties, respectively. And Mitch, before the break, we were talking about the challenges of the pandemic in keeping the Veterans Employment Program continuing. Can you share with us some of the challenges you ran into and how you were able to deal with them?
Sure, Katie. When the pandemic first hit, as Bernie said, it was kind of an unknown barrier that we just had to figure out as it was happening. I was getting calls initially from employers that I worked with that were panicked and saying, I have to lay off my entire warehouse staff. Do you have services at Catholic Charities that can help them through this period? No one knew how long it was going to last, when anyone would get back to work. So fortunately, in Lake County, we have a food pantry, emergency assistance group, and, that I was able to direct the affected workers to those for some help, and other food pantries within Lake County. that I work with. As things kind of evened out and things were getting back, to some element of work, um, the employers really needed, and up to this day, they need employees. I get probably 30 emails a week, more or less, from employers and staffing agencies that are looking for employees, and they just can't find enough. Luckily, I can guide the clients that I work with, the veterans, into many of those jobs. And I work a lot with veterans that are coming out of various types of mental health programs and homelessness in the homeless residential project or program, I should say, that they have at Lovell. And, a lot of the entry level jobs, warehouse jobs, assembly jobs that are starting to pick up are happening now. One of the main ways that I met veterans, besides the programs that I work with through the VA, were job fairs, which essentially have been canceled. And there's been a couple of virtual, not a couple, there's been multiple virtual job fairs. But I found out after trying a few that as a service organization, it wasn't really effective for me. It's much better, I encouraged my veterans to attend, but an employer and a job seeker getting together virtually makes a lot more sense than having me in the middle at that point. Whereas at a live job fair, people are circulating, you stop at tables, I get to talk to them, and then, whatever happens, happens. But, this has been a challenge. I know Bernie had a virtual job fair that he set up, and he actually brought employers, I'm sure you can talk about that, employers and veterans together, to meet each other. But it's been a challenge. And since we're not allowed to meet in person with our veterans, I had to learn a whole new level of communication and interview skills doing it all on the phone, since most of my clients don't do Zoom.
Right.
And but a good phone call and taking an hour or so to really get to understand what they need and how I can help them to be effective in getting employment. Once I worked it out, it's become an effective tool as well.
And as Mitch referred to, when many of these veterans return from service, many of them are wounded physically, psychologically, emotionally, which creates quite a challenge as they are trying to get enough confidence to kind of put themselves out there and get a new job. Can I ask, Bernie, how have you dealt with that, and how do you help them regain the confidence they need to start a new career?
Well, basically, Katie, we listen and we, try and kind of understand what they've been through. I myself am not a veteran, so I can't really say that I know everything that they've been through, but just to be empathetic and understand that it is going to take some time for them to be able to articulate it back into society, as well as to understand that, or help them understand that we're going to try and find them a position that's not going to basically exacerbate those feelings or those issues that they're dealing with, mental health issues and that type of thing. So, for example, even though I've had clients that were trained in the military as military police or things like that, I had a gentleman who did have PTSD, and his whole thing was, I could do that. I'm good at that, but I really, really would rather not, because it exacerbates those feelings and those memories. And so we definitely work with that, and we look for other avenues and other career paths for veterans like that.
Well, and I know that you also work with Catholic Charities' other programs and services to assist the veterans. Mitch, could you share, before we take our break, what some of those other departments are to assist veterans with the wraparound services?
Yeah, we have a really effective emergency assistance group in Lake County. And when I can't help them specifically, or if they're in need of, financial assistance to get out of an immediate problem, I can refer them to our emergency assistance group. I also, on occasion, have single parents that are in need of help, men and women, both from our veteran population that could use some help. And we have a very effective family supportive services group in Lake County as well that I've referred them to. Plus my community partners. I know just about all of the veteran service organizations within Lake and McHenry and southeastern Wisconsin, and they also have benefits that are available, financial and otherwise, to our veteran community.
We're going to take another quick break here on The Voice of Charity, and when we return, we're going to continue our discussion with Bernie Gresham and Mitch Siegel. Please stay tuned.
Do you have a gently used laptop or desktop computer that is gathering dust in your home? Consider donating to our Catholic Charities Veterans Computer Project. We will clean out your device, give it new software, and repurpose it for a veteran who is looking for employment. Your gift will make an incredible difference in a veteran's ability to find a job. Catholic Charities provides veteran services throughout Lake and suburban Cook counties, giving participants an array of professional and personal support. Our veterans have served our country, and it is our privilege to serve them. To learn more about Catholic Charities Veterans Services and the Veterans Computer Project, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
Welcome back to The Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and it's my distinct pleasure today to visit with Mitch Siegel and Bernie Gresham, who are Catholic Charities job developers in Lake and Cook County in our Veterans Employment Program. Bernie, I'm wondering if you can please share with our audience what are some of the circumstances that lead veterans to seeking help at Catholic Charities, and can you also share a success story or two about how you've been able to help a veteran start a new career?
Absolutely. Well, a lot of the veterans come to us from situations where they have been homeless. I actually visit weekly with CRRC, which is the Community Resource and Referral Center, located next to or near to the Jesse Brown VA. And we service, or they service there, the residents of a safe haven shelter. And many of those veterans are there, just temporarily. They run into hard times and they're looking to get back on their feet. We've actually had, I recently had a veteran by the name of Rodney who came to me, and ironically, what we do is we try and connect people with training programs and things that will help them get back into the workforce. And I was making a suggestion to Rodney about a training program. And ironically enough, he had actually already been through the training program I was suggesting to him. And so what I was able to do was to connect him back with them, because he had been out of touch with them for about, I would say, since 2002. And I connected back with them and let them know that they had an alumni that was interested in trying to get employed and who had run on hard times. And they said, absolutely, we can take him back. He is actually doing a training with them today, and hopefully they'll be able to connect him with an employer. And another one of my success stories with a more established client is a gentleman by the name of Ruben, and he came to us unemployed. He was actually on unemployment because he was coming out of a maintenance position and had gotten injured. And so he's basically waiting for disposition of that situation. And he came to us and said, I'd like to be doing something. I really want to move to a different line of work. And I said, well, we actually have a carpentry program that we're connected with at Greater Westtown Partnership. And they basically will help you learn industrial woodworking. And at the end, they have like an 87 to 93% placement rate. And he said, I've always had a passion for like working with wood and stuff, but I never really pursued it. And, this was actually something that I can do, especially since I'm, right now on unemployment. So I do have a little bit of an income. And so he went, matriculated through the training program and was actually placed with a lumber company and was working with them for a while. And then he actually had to pull back because he ran into some health problems. But based on his ingenuity, and drive to succeed, I felt that he definitely was a candidate for our computer program. So he received one of our computers and actually also took that class that you were speaking of earlier, Katie, and received his basic computer certificate. So he's actually been able to really improve his life and improve where he is economically. And actually now he is working with Catholic Charities as a maintenance worker. So
that is a great story. That's a great
Thank
story,
you.
Bernie, and clearly you were instrumental in connecting the dots of his interests and his skills to bring him to where he is today. That's really wonderful. Mitch, would you mind sharing a client story or two to show how that employment program helped people launch a new career?
Yeah, and I have stories very similar to Bernie's of veterans coming out of programs, where they had substance abuse issues or mental health issues or homeless issues. But the story I wanted to share today is a little different. It's about a Marine veteran who served 13 years and became a senior NCO in the Marines, and was pursuing a bachelor's degree in social work. And, as he got into it and more, he thought, I think the business world is a little more. So I was working with him to try and give him some help in where to go for a career path. And we started talking. And he applied for a job at a pharmaceutical company in their regulatory department, and was interviewed and did very well in the initial phone interviews. But then we reoriented his resume, and that's really, I think, where I was the most help in making sure that this company knew that he had 13 years of management skills that are very transferable to the business world. And I helped him with his resume and his interview prep. And instead of coming in at, their basic starting position around $60,000 a year, he came in as senior management in this group based on his 13 years as a Marine sergeant. and managing people and resources was the way he described it. And he ended up at a much more substantial salary than that in the upper management group of that particular division.
Well, clearly,
So it's really how you frame what you've done when you're telling the story of your employment history and knowing who the audience is and how to frame that information.
Clearly, you were a huge help in identifying those skills and bringing them to the forefront in his resume, Mitch. That's really touching and really quite impressive that you were able to identify that and then challenge him to a next level of success in his career. In the short time we have left, can I please ask you each to share contact information? So if anybody knows any veterans out there who you might be of assistance to, they can contact you. Bernie first, you first, please.
Sure. You can contact me at 312-217-3950. That's my mobile cell phone. The office number is 773-808-2954. Or you can contact our office assistant directly at 808-2958, area code 773, and that's the Veterans Employment Program, Cook County.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bernie. And Mitch?
Yes, you can call me directly in Lake County, McHenry, or southeastern Wisconsin at 847-782-4219.
Wonderful. And I also want to add that Catholic Charities has a wonderful veterans bicycle project and a wonderful veterans computer project that Mitch started for Lake County, but we welcome them in Cook and Lake Counties, computers and bicycles to assist veterans who are seeking new employment or who have new positions and need assistance with transportation and need computer assistance as well. Mitch and Bernie, I just want to thank you so much for being on The Voice of Charity today and for allowing our audience to learn more about the many ways you help veterans begin new careers and new chapters in their lives. The kindness and support you show your clients show the deep respect that you have for them and the sacrifices that they have made to serve our nation. We appreciate the ways that you've reminded us today, the debt of gratitude that we all owe to the veterans for their service to the United States. So thanks again for being with us today. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
We invite everyone back again next week for another edition of The Voice of Charity. For now, this is Katie Bredemann, wishing you all a very happy, healthy, and safe week from everyone at Catholic Charities.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.